Troodon is an interesting new addition to the Isle. After feeding my Pteranodon to a couple of Troodon that I found, so that they wouldn't leave that spot, I spawned in and ran to join them. In this particular patch to the stress test, Troodon was given a slight buff to its overall damage when a victim reaches stage 3 of envenomation. This is good because up to this point I haven't actually heard of a single adult dino dying to a Troodon horde. As soon as I finished filling my diets, we took off to go do some testing with the new damage buff. A dino had volunteered to allow us some free pounces. So while the adult troos did that, I took the opportunity to grab a drink. I actually got lucky. While the rest of my horde was distracted, your average Sarah decided to interrupt the testing, killing one of our numbers and rampaging through the middle of them. As any good horde of troos knows, you cannot allow mass destruction to take place unless the troo group gets involved. So we made an attempt to avenge our fallen brother. As a Troodon, fighting is a bit difficult. Not only are we one-shot by most of the roster, but we also are the grass a lot of the time. So it's often difficult to see our target without being spotted ourselves. In an ideal world, our Venom's third stage lasts for 45 seconds, and we can rapid-fire pounce the target to drain their health fairly quickly. However, in the stress test, there are often bugs still being worked out. Unfortunately, some of these bugs result in instant death upon pouncing your prey. Thankfully, Troodon doesn't take long to grow. I spawned back in, returned to my good old Pteranodon body, and filled up. Another of my comrades found me there, and we began our horde anew. Sadly, the pair didn't last long. A fresh spawned Sarah killed my friend while they were momentarily AFK, and I, of course, attempted to punish our attacker. He escaped my wrath, vanishing while I was still too small to properly see another smaller creature in the tall grass. Now, completely and utterly alone, my Troodon existence became near pointless. A solo troo can't do much more than hide and sound like a lost soul screaming from the underworld. So I took a moment to collect myself by hiding in a bush. However, yet another Sarah invaded my space, and afraid I'd be spotted, I decided I'd best get out. My poor lone Troodon didn't get far before a galley attempted to curb stomp it for existing. Thankfully, True is quite agile and vanishes quite nicely, so I escaped with my life. This time. By the next morning, I was getting rather hungry. My poor lonely Troodon had to set out on a scavenging mission. Luckily, compies often spawn all over the map, so I knew a compy slaughter had taken place when I smelled a multitude of S diets. This particular land dino was eating something. I figured I would be able to wander in, snatch one of the many compy bodies, and run away with it for a snack. Sadly, the corpse hitbox is a bit glitchy, and I failed in my mission. Quite badly, in fact. At least this dino failed to hold on, and I was able to escape without too much damage done. Thankfully, before I'd even healed from the dino encounter, I heard the screams of my brethren, and I was able to join the horde once more. At this point, I'm beginning to see a bit of a pattern, one that likely doesn't bode well for when 6.5 drops. Yet again, we were attacked by a cerato. At least this one was at a size we could handle. Or at least would have been had yet another cerato not shown up to steal our kill and our meal. Feeling a bit frustrated, we retired to the river for drinks and a scavenged meal. You know, with the dino nerfs when it comes to their ability to run with prey on land, I thought that the land dino days were over. This guy again. He was determined to end me. At least Troodon is a fast swimmer. I managed to escape the jaws of death for a second time. The dino wasn't finished though. After my horde members killed a boar, the same dino made his way over again. This time he was smarter though, and went for a bite instead of trying to lunge. At least it wasn't me this time. As evening fell, we retired to the goat hills for some much needed nutrition. Goats are on Troodon's diet, but no longer on Carno's. So tell me why this Carno decided he was going to stick his big butt where it didn't belong. I managed to land a successful pounce for once in my Troodon life, and even thought that I was in the clear. Except I wasn't. The grass I landed in wasn't tall enough for me to disappear, and apparently this Carno can still charge with the spirits of his ancestors. I respawned at south so I could quickly rejoin my group, and found the Carno cowering in the mud pit. Oh, how the big bully of Update 6 has fallen. Unable to do much to fight him in the pit, we resorted to screaming, hoping to summon the great judge, Ceratosaurus, to drag his soul to the underworld. Sadly, he must have realized our intent. He grabbed the boar he'd killed and decided to simply make a break for it. Coward. We chased the Carno as far as we could, but sadly our tiny legs couldn't keep up with his thick thighs, and we lost him. By this point, I was beginning to give up hope for Troodon in its current state. Despite multiple hunts during my playthroughs, we'd yet to actually kill anything except AI. If Troodon is supposed to punch up to an adult Tenno, some changes are going to be necessary. Most hunts, if not all of them, ended with either another player intervening or our prey simply running away. We made a final attempt. A trio of ceratos existed, and we took issue with that. Also, we literally hadn't seen anything else since the Carno incident. This was it. One final attempt to take down literally anything. In a coordinated attack, we raced in and targeted one specific Cera. I wasn't fully grown as I died to the Carno, and was therefore slower than the rest of my horde, and feeling a bit nervous to attack after the last time I'd pounced an adult Cerato and got bug killed off his side. Ultimately, I decided to go for it. We were in stage 3 of envenomation, and the Cerato appeared to be taking heavy damage. I landed my pounce, despite the fact that visually it was bugged, and I successfully dismounted and ran away. The Cerato called out to his friends for help. Once again, foiled. We checked in with the Ceratos after the fight, and our coordinated attack after getting him to stage 3 of envenomation actually drained his health to 48%. If his friends hadn't intervened, and we managed a secondary assault with our depleted numbers, killing him actually might have been possible. After spending a full day playing only Troodon, I've come to a few conclusions. First, Troodon is super fun to play in a horde. The more the merrier, honestly. Second, Troodon's venom can be pretty lethal under the right circumstances. And third, those circumstances are near impossible to achieve, because the hunts take too long and are incredibly loud, drawing other predators in to steal your kills and stop the hunts in their tracks. Hopefully, venom can be adjusted to be a bit more effective in the future. I want Troodon screams, at least when they're in large groups, to strike legitimate fear into the hearts of players everywhere. Right now, though, I still think most players hear Troodon horde screams and think, oh, that'll be an easy snack. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new around here and enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing for more content just like this. And if you're already subscribed, make sure to like the video and let me know your thoughts about Troodon in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.